one of the royal cars, which has just left Buckingham Palace. Can't see at the moment who's in it. It looks like the Royal Standard. It is the Royal Standard, surely. Yes, the Queen is in the car. And the Queen Mother with her. And the Queen is now arriving at Westminster Abbey. The great tenor bell of the Abbey is tolling. Dean of Westminster, the new Dean of Westminster, Dr. Wesley Carr, Dean since the beginning of the year. And we might note at this point that Westminster Abbey is in fact the Queen's Church. It's known as a royal peculiar. The Archbishop of Canterbury has no authority in this church. It and St George's Chapel, Windsor, and just a few others are the only ones in the country. And that is why the Dean of Westminster will be officiating, leading today's service, and not the Archbishop of Canterbury, although he will play a part. 97 years of age. Walking unaided after her successful hip operation.
Present to you the Secretary of State, Cardinal Parolin. Your Majesty, Your Majesty, His Holiness.
I think we haven't get to waiting. I think we haven't run through the president Very nice. My private secretary from Australia, yes. And my doctor, my assistant, no, communications, my policeman, and my husband's policeman. So, we would like to. Well, I'm afraid you have to have a photograph. And it's also gift from all our estates, which is for you personally. And there's up in Scotland. My garden.
I'd like to explain some gifts His Holiness would like to give you. Innocent in 1679, and it's an actual replica of the original, done rather nicely, and behind an infinite path to the future. Yes.
Questo è per il bisnieto, cioè il great grandson, George of Cambridge. It's the only gold medal I've ever won.
È l'unico che hai ganato. Thank you.
Well, it's been a great pleasure to come. I know, I really was.
Thank you very much.
My lords, pray be seated. My lords and members of the House of Commons, my government's priority has always been to secure the United Kingdom's departure from the European Union on the 31st of October. My government intends to work towards a new partnership with the European Union based on free trade and friendly cooperation. My ministers will work to implement new regimes for fisheries, agriculture and trade, seizing the opportunities that arise from leaving the European Union. An immigration bill ending free movement will lay the foundation for a fair, modern and global immigration system. My government remains committed to ensuring that resident European citizens who have built their lives in and contributed so much to the United Kingdom have the right to remain. The bill will include measures that reinforce this commitment. My Lords and members of the House of Commons, other measures will be laid before you. I pray that the blessing of Almighty God may rest upon your councils.
It's a new one, it's in town, I think. Take a bit of time. Yeah, they're all about some middle. It's a combination of I was made to join in. I had to sit there quietly.
Very nice. Have you been covering a book as well?
And at the same time it gives us a rather amazing view of the skyline of London.
Miles from the city. They're in the city, they're surrounded.
Yes.
Pretty impressive to you.
So I'm a medical student. There's an initiative for the Idea Factory that I applied for, and I just recently won. So they're helping me a lot with my most recently.
Well done. Good luck with it.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to meet you.
So we make German, fresh German beer now in London.
May I now draw this event to a close by inviting Your Majesty to unveil the plaque formally to open King's College London at Bush House.
Her Majesty to receive the honour of knighthood, Captain Sir Thomas More.
I also have insignia for you. Like that, you don't thanks so much to everybody who sees it. It was amazing amount of money you gave, wasn't it?
How it keeps coming in and took those big falls.
I know, what? And top of the box practically, wasn't it?
Probably an item on the table.
I'm sure. Absolutely. I'm sure you've got to get like that. That's forevermore.
Certainly never did.
Never.
What was interesting was that we received donations.
So you've been shut up, I suppose, too, haven't you? You've been isolated
With us.
with you.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's such a terrible thing. It's invisible, isn't it?
It is invisible, yes. Well, my granddaughter got married this morning.
Yes, we
And we met. Oh, that's very nice. The best of luck to
Thank you
you.
very much. Thank you.
Bye. 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 I know. We wouldn't have an activity.
It's amazing from Guernsey to all around the world.
I'm here. I thought you did. I thought you, my stayed there for ages. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Majesty. How are you?
Well, as you can see, I can't move.
Oh, well, many congratulations on the start of your Jubilee year.
Good morning. Oh, thank you very much indeed. That's very kind.
And I noticed you've got Candy keeping guard, because as we came down the corridor, she was not going to let us get anywhere near you.
Oh, really?
No, she was
Gave a little growl.
Growl as well.
She doesn't normally growl, but
She's obviously can see through us.
being rather. So you're when you had?
Well, end of last week.
Yes.
So this marks our very first meeting, and it is a real pleasure, actually. Thank you so much for seeing us.
There's therapy of all sorts, I think.
That's unfortunately.
Very simple.
Yeah, and I found out because nobody knows from India. Yeah.
Now, can I invite you to open 10 sessions?
I'm very glad to be able to do that.
Yeah, so we will have special, there will be a special class.
St. Giles Cathedral, and when they leave, the coffin will remain at rest here. The public will file past and pay their respects long into the night on this most momentous day. The King steps onto Scottish soil and into a day of ceremony and solemnity, greeted, head bowed, by the First Minister of Scotland. Joining the Queen's final journey, beginning one of his own. Down the Royal Mile, on a wave of applause, to the Palace of Holyrood House, where the Queen lay overnight. A guard of honour, his official residence now. His name in the anthem. His arrival marked by a 21-gun salute from the castle. As the keys to this great city are passed to the new king. Formality and informality. The King and Queen consort with the crowds, meetings of eyes and hearts. The coffin is draped in the royal standard for Scotland. Upon it, a wreath with heather from the Queen's Highland haven, Balmoral. And begins its climb up the Royal Mile. Pavements packed along this narrow street, heavy with the history of kings and queens past and present. King Charles follows on foot with his 3 siblings. A lone man heckling Prince Andrew, drowned out with shouts of "God save the King," led to his arrest. Further up, they wait in silence. There is a profound intimacy here, multiplied many thousand-fold, a feeling strong enough almost for the King to touch.
his focus is ahead. One step at a time. This mournful march brings the cortege to St. Giles Cathedral. The Queen, whose faith ran deep, will be celebrated here. And remembered. The crown of Scotland was hers longer than anyone's.
So we gather to bid Scotland's farewell to our late monarch, whose life of service to the nation and the world we celebrate, and whose love for Scotland was legendary.
Among the congregation, political leaders, those the Queen met over a lifetime in Scotland. Echoes of earlier times, Psalm 23, performed at her marriage. Outside, His Majesty, arm raised in appreciation. Tonight, his first visit as King to the Scottish Parliament. Fanfare first, then 2 minutes silence. And condolences.
While the nation's grief is for our Queen, the royal families is for their beloved mother, grandmother and great-grandmother. Today, on behalf of the Parliament and people of Scotland, I offer my heartfelt condolences to Your Majesties.
The King rose to his feet. It was here that his mother spoke of her deep affection for Scotland.
I know that the Scottish Parliament and the people of Scotland share with me a profound sense of grief at the death of my beloved mother. My mother felt, as I do, the greatest admiration for the Scottish people, for their magnificent achievements and their indomitable spirit.
Today, that affection was returned.